We are live! Hello, Sarah. I've got a song for you. The name is that right? Yeah, that's right. Name is Noel. I had a dream about her. She rings my bell. Got gym class in half an hour. Oh, how she rocks in pants and tube socks. But she doesn't know who I am. She doesn't give a damn about me. I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. Yeah, I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. Listen to Iron Maiden, baby, with me. There we go. Little bit of Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus. So my first question, as always, why did you choose that song?
I think so. It was the last song on the list, and it just jumped out to me. I remember absolutely loving it. It's last on the list. Keep going. They were all cool songs, but I think it just always like reminds me of all those American films in the early 2000s, and the video was like a mini film in itself. And I just think it's just such a cool song. Reminds me of festivals and all of that. So I just love it.
Absolutely. No, it is a good fun song. And when I learned to play it, I thought, oh, this is good. Because the thing is, right, we were just having a little chat backstage. Backstage, what does that sound like? So and your son is at music college. So
he is.
Yeah, so way over and above what I do. Mine's just purely for fun. And I'm not very good at some of the chords. So when I pick a song, it has to be dead easy. So when I see a song, I want to do that. Like, I can play it. So I was pleased that I could do that. So
excellent.
Sarah Burgess, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Before you say anything, I just want to say hello to Harish. And he's a big fan of music too. Look at that. He likes Wheatus too. So that's good. So Sarah Burgess, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do.
So I am a career coach. I've been doing that for 20 years now. Kind of fell into it by accident when I took redundancy from corporate world, and the coach. So I worked in learning development, managed the graduate program, all of that kind of stuff. And the coach that I saw said, "Oh, have you ever thought about being an outplacement coach?" I'm like, I don't know what that is, but that's what I did. So I've been doing that freelance ever since. So it's worked out really well. And then on the side of that, I also do paddleboard coaching. I'm also a running coach, and I did qualify to be a ski coach as well. So like my husband says, can I ever do anything without them becoming a coach? Which I don't know. Maybe that's my thing.
Absolutely. But I started coaching about 3 or 4 years ago, and I don't know about you, but isn't it amazing the relationship you have with your coachees, and then the fun you have seeing them develop and grow? And I guess with what you're doing, there's lots of different areas. So I'm a paddleboarder, as you know.
Yeah.
And the first time you're on a paddleboard, you stay on it about 30 seconds, I think, isn't it? The first time you're on a paddleboard.
Yeah.
It's 15 seconds here in Sidmouth because we have those things called waves, not like on the River Thames.
Yeah, we have fast boats though.
They're teaching paddleboarding. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But then you see them coming back week after week, and then they're going surfing and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a great thing to be able to do. So
it is definitely. I just like helping people kind of develop their confidence in whichever of those things, and just get better. So, and actually, most recently, I'm specialising in kind of LinkedIn coaching, so career coaching using LinkedIn. So I just think it's such a powerful tool, and it can get you pretty much anywhere, I think.
Well, you're on the right show if you want to talk about LinkedIn. And this is the thing, right? People say, why are you having a LinkedIn coach on your show? Because you're a LinkedIn coach, and but for a start, there's 900 million people on LinkedIn, so there's not enough coaches to go around. But B, we do totally different things.
Yeah,
don't we? I'm helping people to get noticed so that they can, grow their business. You're helping to get people noticed so that the hiring managers, I want to work with this person. So what do you think are the key differences between what we do?
So I think for what I do, it's about that. So it's about working out what it is that's important to you in your next then the next stage of your career. So whether that's you've just graduated or you just left sixth form or you're looking for a massive career change, what is it that you actually want to do? And I totally get that there's some people that just need a job and quickly. So I can kind of help people with that as well. But if you've got the time to really think about it, then I think just spending the time to work out your values, your strengths, your skills, all of that stuff. And then using LinkedIn to research companies that are going to hopefully share those values so that you know when you get that job, it's going to be the right one. So in terms of what's different, I mean, you're going to be doing similar things, but for businesses, aren't you? So you're going to be your businesses want to represent what their values are, so they're attracting the right customers. So I think it all comes back to building that brand for whatever it is you're looking to do next.
Yeah, we talk about building brand an awful lot, don't we?
Yeah.
And I think, well, it's only recently that I've really understood that. I have been doing that unwittingly because I'm always authentic. But when you're a school or university leaver, you haven't got a clue about brand, and you think of brands like Apple and Microsoft and stuff like that. So to get a youngster to start thinking about building their brand, that's quite a challenge, isn't it, Sarah?
It can be, yeah. But I mean, what I like to do with kind of students particularly is run group sessions. I find that's really helpful because when there's a big group of students in the room, it's much more interactive. People kind of bounce ideas off each other. And even if it is a company like Google, then that's fine because, people often say that's where they want to work. If I say, what's your dream company, they'll say Google or Microsoft or whatever it might be. And that's fine. Some people do need to work there, but you just need to understand what their recruitment process is like. So it's all about being prepared for that and also being rejected. And that's a massive part of it. I've read people that have been to Google and have applied 7 times for a job and then finally got it 8th time. So do you really want it that much that you're going to be that dedicated to keep going for it? Or is there something else? It could be that there's an up and coming company that's actually much better suited to you, like the idea of Google. But actually, in reality, maybe there's something else. So we'd spend a bit of time exploring what actually is it about Google that's appealing, and can you find that elsewhere?
Super. We're going to come back to this. I've just got a few questions about LinkedIn. Do you use other social media regularly, Sarah?
I do Strava account. I use Strava all the time.
That's running.
For running, paddleboarding.
Us fit people don't get that.
Yeah.
You do Strava. You do.
I do Strava on my paddleboard. You need to record it, otherwise it didn't happen. So Instagram, I do use Instagram, but socially, and it is mainly either running related or paddleboard related or nice scenery somewhere. So I don't use anything else for business at the moment. I've got a YouTube channel which I've started uploading my videos to. I've been talking a bit about starting to use TikTok, but I haven't done anything about that other than saying must have a look at that. And Facebook, I have got a Facebook account. I very rarely post anything on it, but I do like the memories on Facebook, so it's quite cool seeing that.
But the trouble is, because you're not doing it now, you're not going to have memories in the future.
I know.
That's what I realised the other day.
However, my husband does quite a lot on Facebook and tags me, so I come up that way, so it's fine. Yeah.
That's superb. How often do you post your own content on LinkedIn, Sarah?
It varies. I'd say probably on average 3 times a week.
Wow.
I go through stages where it's every day, and then I go through stages of not posting for a couple of weeks. So I am organised, but also I work really well to deadlines. So it's much better for me to kind of think on the fly. And sometimes I'm too busy to think about it, and other times I'll think, I'm going to schedule my posts. So I'm not particularly consistent in terms of frequency, but you'll always see something from me, I would say.
Perfect. And so is consistency, where do you see consistency? Because a lot of people talk about it. When you're in a state of regularly posting, do you see differences when you're in a state of too busy or not doing it?
I mean, I do a live once a week, which is called Career Stories, where I talk to people about their careers. So that's it has been every Friday, but I'm switching to Thursdays from this week onwards. So that's once a week at 1 o'clock. So that's good. So there's always a bit of chat around that. I use a couple of career seeking groups, so that gets quite a few views. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously, if I do post, I do get more interaction. So I should, and I plan to use the scheduling tool a bit more often, because that's really effective. I mean, you do still need to be around once the post goes live, because I think it's really important to respond to everyone that comments on my post. So I do that, and it does work well. I did it for a couple of weeks, scheduled posts every day, and it was great. And I definitely saw my engagement going up. So I need to get back on that.
A little bit of coaching for you there.
Coaching for myself. Yeah, no, it's true.
Do you know what is the best time for you to post, or that you monitor that?
It's somewhere between 1 and 2 in the afternoon seems to be best for me.
Okay.
Which kind of goes against what everyone says. Everyone's like, oh, 9 o'clock in the morning is best. But actually, quite a lot of my engagement comes from America. So I suppose that is that time, but there.
Yeah. And this is the thing. I think we listen too much to what other people say.
Yeah.
When I teach LinkedIn, I always say the best time to post is now.
Yeah.
Because so where are we? We're Tuesday, and the best time to post is Tuesday morning. So I'll leave it for a week.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't going to do it.
No,
if I post it right now,
unless you schedule it.
So do you know this guy called Paul Burgess?
Oh yeah, there you go.
So, apparently, this guy does a lot on Facebook. So thanks for joining.
He does do a lot of Facebook, yeah, and he does loads on social media for his actual job at the Rowing Museum as well. So.
Oh wow! Okay, cool. We've got a question here. This is Paul. He's a mentor at Exeter Uni.
Okay.
And he's got a mentee, final year history student looking to enter into fine arts and auction. Is there one nugget advice you could offer to help him break into that sector? Great question, Paul. Thank you.
So what I would say is go to your alumni page on LinkedIn and run a search. So you can click on all alumni members for your university and run a search with keywords in. If you go down and add in keywords at the bottom, you can put in quotes fine arts, for instance, hit return, and then you'll get a list of anyone in that alumni who has fine arts in their experience section, and then approach them. So I'm also an alumni member. Would you mind having a chat? So tap up that network. People really like helping alumni members. So I would say that's the best thing to do.
That is an awesome nugget. I love that. That is pure value there, Paul. Don't you think? That is brilliant.
Thank you.
That is brilliant. I didn't go to uni, so I don't know what an alumni is. So I do know what an alumni is, but I don't have one.
Yeah, no, it's so powerful. Honestly, I actually did have a client who was moving to Canada. And she had like a target company in mind. So I said, have a look at the employees. And it came up to say this guy was in her alumni. So she's like, yeah, but he graduated 30 years ago. I was like, doesn't matter. So she did message him. He had a chat with her. He did a refer a friend program and she got the job.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But look, the illustration that I give when we're talking about this is, let's just say you're in Spain now on holiday, Sarah.
Yeah.
And you're on public transport in Spain. Okay. And there's somebody in front of you starts talking with an English accent. You go, oh, hi, you English? You've automatically got an affinity and you start talking to them, don't you?
Exactly.
You don't talk to them on the bus in the UK.
No, very true.
When you're somewhere else. So yeah, I think it's a great way for using that network. Hi, Lee, US based. So what time is it for you? Thank you for tuning in. Is this the breakfast show? Great topic today. Advice for people to recession-proof their careers. Lots of layoffs happening in the US now. That's not good. Not good. So are you getting more people calling you then?
Yeah, definitely. This is always the busiest time for me when there are these big layoffs. So I would say, again, LinkedIn, great resource. So they have just published for the UK. So I'm assuming they've done it for the US as well. The top 10 most in-demand jobs. So number 2, for instance, was sustainability manager. And what LinkedIn do then is they give you career paths. So it shows you how to kind of develop your skills in that particular area. So I would totally have a look at that top 10 list, see if there's anything there that appeals to you, anything that you've got transferable skills to. And then, again, use your network to see who you know in that particular industry.
God, this is priceless advice. This is priceless advice. So, do you know, if I knew you before I set my business up, I'd be working for someone else now doing a really cool job.
Oh, it's pretty cool
But
now.
I wouldn't be having as much fun as I'm having
Exactly.
right now, though. That's the
Yeah.
thing. So,
Yeah.
so Lee is enjoying her breakfast, so that's good. And good afternoon, Pavel. He's literally just up the road from me. So,
Oh, well.
yeah. So, we went down a little bit of a rabbit hole there, but I love that. And I guess you get business as a result of what you do on LinkedIn. Hey, Sarah?
Yeah, I do. So most times I send out a newsletter, I get a client. And it's generally people who go, oh, I've been watching your content for months or a couple of years or whatever, and now can I work with you? So that's great. So I offer loads of free advice. I do kind of video tutorials, things like that on my page, and then obviously paying clients is great.
No, I love that. I love that. And so this newsletter,
Yes.
it's a feature of LinkedIn that you have on creator mode.
Yes, that's right.
And do you know how many newsletters there are?
No, I don't. There's a lot.
Right. There's 900 million people on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
There's only 30,000 newsletters.
Wow, really? I thought it was more than that.
Isn't that criminal?
Feels like I've got an invite for all of those in my inbox.
Yeah, absolutely. it seems like it, doesn't it? But I think because you're active on LinkedIn,
Yeah, that's true.
You're mixing with other active people on LinkedIn, and therefore
Yeah.
you're getting those newsletters.
Yeah.
But I'm working with someone at the moment, and every week we catch up. We just monitor his newsletters. He didn't know about it. He didn't know what it was. He sends a newsletter to his clients every week.
Yeah.
But now he's added another, I don't know, 1,500 people that may not have got that newsletter, and it's all for free.
Yeah, exactly. It's genius.
And you reckon you're getting a client every time you send a newsletter?
Yeah,
out?
I have done. Yeah, I've done 7 so far.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Ashling agrees that you're giving top advice
thank
to
you.
do as well. Okay, so let's get into the what you're doing, the career advice and stuff like that. What do you think is the biggest worry for somebody that comes to see you?
That they're going to be the one that doesn't get a job. And I think that's really common. So often I am working with people that have taken redundancy after significant chunks of time in an organisation, so 25, 30 years sometimes. And they'll have seen all of their colleagues going off and starting this great career in consultancy or got another job or whatever, and they'll be thinking, oh, I'm going to be the one that doesn't. But invariably you do. Sometimes it might take a little bit longer than others. So I think the longest ever was about 3 years. However, she had lots of other stuff going on as well, managing a house project, caring for parents, all of that kind of stuff. So she wasn't actually working full time to get a job. So I think that's the important thing when you're in that position, is you do need to treat it like it's your job, trying to get a job, and being quite clear on what it is you're looking for next, and actually doing the stuff, I think. So, you know, if we're working together and I say, right, you need to contact these people, then go and do it.
What would you say to somebody that was working in a high pressure job, okay, and they gave it all up and didn't know what they wanted to do next?
So I've got loads of exercises that I work through. One of them is called the career line. So I would get them to do that as a first step. So basically you look back over your career, or even back to school if you want to. So it could be a lifeline, whichever is your preference, and your age and all of that. And it basically gets you to plot your highs and lows of your life and your career so far. So what I do is I get people to do that, and then when we're sat together, and typically I give them a couple of weeks to do that, because it's one of those things. I always do it on a massive flip chart, because then I'll add things as I'm going along. I'd leave it on the floor, add bits and bobs to it. Then we'll sit down, kind of go through it and look at the highs and say, okay, so what's the commonality between those things? And it might on first glance look like there's nothing in them that's common, but actually when you start diving a bit deeper, you can generally find there is. So for me, for instance, when I look back over my corporate career, my highs were when I had pretty much zero instruction from my manager. So one of them said to me, I want you to go and create a learning culture. So I was like, cool. Like my husband's like, what does that even mean? I was like, I don't know. Sounds cool though, doesn't it? So that really motivates me, whereas that would freak him out. Yep. So I think it's trying to find out what it is that really motivates you, and then that can help with lots more exercises to kind of work out what it is you could do next.
I like that because there's always been things in my previous, because that was me. That
Yeah.
was me, right?
Yeah.
That there's always been things that I've loved about certain jobs, and like you say, it's probably because that manager was awesome.
Yeah.
Nothing to do, and I was 30 years in sales, so it's nothing to do with the product I was selling. It was
Yeah.
because I had a really good manager or something. So that's a great bit of advice.
Yeah.
I didn't know at the time, so what I did, I wrote down on a big piece of paper what I didn't want to do.
Yeah, no, that's just as good. Yeah,
that
yeah.
was pretty cool.
And that's what I say to people, particularly when working on LinkedIn, is when you're putting on what you did in your last role on LinkedIn, think about what you want to do next, and don't put down the stuff you hated, because you're then going to be found for that. So if you're in a HR role and part of your role was recruitment, you're going to get attracted by recruiters looking for recruiters. So don't put it down.
Yeah.
Just put down the stuff you liked and that you want to continue doing.
Yeah. So I was in HR, but I really loved talking to people, and I got loads of fun from talking to people. So yeah, I like that. I like that. So how many hours a week do you currently work on your business, or in your business, or for your business?
It's really tricky to say. I would say probably 30 hours, maybe.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. And that gives you plenty of time to do your paddle boarding and your running.
And my running, yeah.
And you're running then. So are you training for a marathon or anything like that at the moment?
I am, yeah. So I did New York and Berlin marathons last year in October and November, and I'm doing Chicago Marathon in October this year. So
how cool is that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm working my way to, there's this thing called the World Majors. So there's 6 races. So I've done London, New York and Berlin. So I've got Chicago, then Boston and Tokyo. Don't know where I'm going to find the money for all this, but you know.
Oh, what a great goal to have.
Yeah.
And how long does it take you to run a marathon?
My best time is 4 hours 15.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but that was a while ago.
Hey.
New York was awful this year. It was so hot. Well, it was cool being in New York, but there was a freak heat wave in November in New York, so they were advising people not to run too fast in case they passed out.
Yeah. So how long did that one take you then?
It was about 5 hours.
Wow. Do you ever listen to Chris Evans when he talks about marathon running?
I do actually, and my son's doing London Marathon in April, so he is not a runner at all, but someone bought him the Chris Evans book for Christmas, so I had a quick flick through that last night. Actually, it's pretty good.
Yeah, he talks to, he's friends with Mo Farah, obviously.
Yes, as you are.
And he turns around to Mo Farah and says, "Look, I'm a better runner than you." And Mo Farah says, "You what? Because because I'm out for 5 hours."
Yeah, you can handle that.
You're only doing 2 hours.
Yeah, oh no,
absolutely cracking.
Did you see Mo Farah on Taskmaster?
I wouldn't even know what that is.
Oh, it's so cool. It's such a good program. Anyway, very funny.
he's a top bloke, isn't he? Top bloke. So what challenges have you got in your business at the moment, Sarah?
Challenges. So I suppose what I really enjoyed doing last year, and I did a few of these, is sessions at universities. So going into kind of lecture style things, talking to graduates about developing your career using LinkedIn. So it's only going to get bigger than it already is. It's kind of got the key for anything you want to do. So for me, it is identifying contacts in universities that can help me get in front of the students. That's kind of my aim for this year. You
need to look at the alumni, see if they can help you.
I do. Exactly. Yeah.
I've definitely learned something.
Yeah, I know. It's the whole cold calling thing. I'm not that comfortable with that. However, I've got plenty of people that can introduce me, so that's what I need to start looking at.
And that's the thing, isn't it? And referrals and stuff
like
that. Yeah. What's the coolest job you've ever got, anybody?
Oh God, that's a really difficult question. The coolest job.
And that's the other thing. It's also I can't think of the word, but it might be cool to me.
Yeah.
But to you, it's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with people that have got their dream jobs at like Facebook and Google and all of that kind of stuff. But I think probably it might not sound cool to other people, but jobs where people have come from big corporates and have ended up in like a family counselling practice. So they actually, that transition is really hard to get to do that, and they've done that. So I think that kind of thing, really, those are the stories that I like, really, when people have made that big pivot. So they might not sound cool to other people. I mean, I did have a client who was working in the music industry, and she got a big promotion into a big music position. So that's cool.
Awesome. Right, I've got one question for you. We've actually run over our 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So before I ask you that last question, I'm going to tell you who I've got in next week.
Okay.
But I didn't add the overlay, which is really annoying. So I have the technology. I can do that ever so quickly now. I've got the logo lady coming in next week, a lady called Trudy Avery. And she's coming in to talk about marketing and specifically logos. Okay, so that's next week.
There you go.
But I also do a show on a Wednesday for accountants and bookkeepers. But this week, I've got Cheryl Sharp coming in, and I was hoping to talk to her about her business. But literally last week, she launched her podcast, and her podcast is Secrets of a Survivor, and how she has overcome the experience of being in a relationship where she suffered from domestic abuse. And she's now speaking out about that. And so we're going to be covering a couple of topics tomorrow. So I'm not sure I'm looking forward to it, but I've known Cheryl for a long time, and looking forward to helping her tell her story and get more people talking about domestic abuse. So that's tomorrow. So it's a couple of interesting shows there. So my question to you, Sarah, what advice would you give your 16-year-old self if you could go back in time?
So I think I've been thinking about this, and I think I would, from a running point of view, I would say keep running, don't stop until you're in your 30s, and then restart, because you have been. And in terms of career, I think it just be trust your instincts and just do it.
Yeah, I love that. I think sometimes we question ourselves too much, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
So, trust your instincts. So thanks everybody for coming on today. Pavel reckons you're wonderful for running marathons.
Thank you.
And Peter says magic day. So absolutely. Thank you, everybody. I will be back, like I said, tomorrow and again next week. And we'll see you soon. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
You get out what you put in.